Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Patreon exclusive episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, you know who we are. I'm Kevin. That's Sean.
Hi.
Okay. Thank you for being patrons. I don't know what that was. I'm a little warm wearing my long sleeves today. It's beautiful here in Memphis. Got up to 70.
Starting to feel like spring.
But then it's about to come crashing down. It stays warm.
It stays like 50s and 60s.
Yeah, that's true.
We're done with cold.
We're done. Oh, thank God.
Until December, November.
I'm guessing Smokey's probably not done coming inside, though, as you can tell. A beautiful night out, and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
You know what? I've gotten used to this.
If you couldn't tell by the title of the video, which you clicked on, today, I guess, wait a minute, I should check and make sure the mics are on. The mics are on. Okay, good.
Is there a switch that we need to make sure is on?
I didn't even make the joke. How did I not make the joke? I was going to say, Sean, is your mic working? This dumbass, you have no idea. You have no idea.
We've discussed it ad nauseum.
We have.
Not really. Oh,
not
your
really with
table's
them.
gone.
Huh?
Was that gone before?
I literally last time was like, do you notice anything different? You're like, whoa, ice hockey table. I always call it ice hockey, air hockey. As you could tell by the title of the video and the microphone's working, we are going to talk about the questions we still have. What?
I just noticed.
Related to the Switch.
I went to Google Drive, and apparently when I've accessed the Aristocat stuff, unless maybe you did
me.
this.
It was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I somehow
'Cause I
save
tried
them to my Google or our Google Drive?
Yeah, I was like, son of a bitch. Who cares?
Well, I thought I did it.
No,
whatever.
that was me.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the questions we still have about the Nintendo Switch. Originally, I said, let's do 5 questions, but I don't know how many we have. We probably have a lot of the same. I think I ended up with 7 or 8 that I have, and there's probably even more that I haven't thought of. By the way, I had to, do this, get the smoky hair off the table.
Oh, really?
Well, jackass. I need a lint brush because it's stupid, not my cat. So, Switch is coming out at some point. I guess that's the first question is, when is this thing coming out? All we know, they showed off the video because they're like, fine, stop leaking it. They showed off the video. There's been rumors. There was rumors we were supposed to get a games-focused direct in February, judging by my calculations. I don't think that's going to happen. I just clicked my heart monitor. I don't think that's going to happen at this point. But, I mean, who knows? Nintendo has been known to,
Yeah, a few days.
direct coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's only Tuesday.
To me,
But
it was Tuesday.
I feel like they do a lot of their directs on Thursdays. I think Sony does their states of play. Oh, no, the last one was Wednesday. It doesn't matter. I guess we could, as we're recording this, tomorrow's Wednesday, we could get a tweet. It's like, hey, we got a direct tomorrow. Come see some games.
I think if we don't hear tomorrow, it ain't happening.
I don't know why we were all thinking, well, it's because of rumors. It makes way more sense that just whatever this direct is going to be on April 2nd, I think it was, they're just going to show the games then. Why do we think that they can't have a whole direct just about the hardware when we know a lot of it? We don't know all of it yet.
We've already seen it. We just haven't seen all the. We haven't been told, I guess, about all the bells and whistles. Start it over.
Where is my light? Now it's on. Like Donkey Kong. Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Did you ever play Donkey Konga? Was that the one with the
bongos? Yeah, bongos.
the bumbos?
I said bongos.
Oh.
It was fun.
So anyway, back to the question. When do we think it's actually going to come out? Is it coming out soon after this event? Is it coming out May, June? Or are we going to have to wait till fall?
I say fall. I say September. We came out right around the holidays, right?
We was October, I think. Yeah.
So maybe I say September, October.
Switch was March. I don't think we're going to have it released on March 3rd to celebrate the 8th anniversary.
Probably not. I say September, October. But, they've surprised us before.
What do you got, Sean?
Questions?
I didn't even have that written down, but then I was like, oh, duh. That's a good question.
I mean, the first thing I
When's
have...
the stupid thing coming out?
First thing I have is the cost.
I didn't write that one down either. This is why we come up with separate lists.
And do we think it's probably just one model? I don't think we're going to get a 2 and a 2S or a 2.
No, I don't think we'll get a 2 Lite.
Cardless or,
What's the thing called? Is it the Switch Lite, the portable only one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Switch 2 Lite. Meant to be.
Meant to be. Switch 2 Lite.
I think the cost,
There's no way it's 500.
it's got to be 400.
I assume 400. 450 is like, ugh.
But I just think it's going to be around, they're all round numbers, a round number on the hundreds. Because it sounds a lot better to say $399 than it does $449. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or $499. There's no way. The friggin' PS5 is $500. Actually, it's less than that now, I think. I don't even remember. I think it's $450 now. Is like the standard price.
It's got to be 400.
I think it's 400. I don't think it's any lower than 350.
What does the Switch sell? Like the Switch OLED, what is that selling for? Is that still 300? Or 350? Like what is that at right now?
350. Because the Switch is still 300, right? You just said something that made me think of a question. What did you just say?
I said,
I know you said, but before you went that.
I don't know, the OLED price, the Switch price.
I don't know. I thought of a question. And then I lost it. Oh, yeah. So what is your prediction? If you had to make one.
I say 400, 399.
I say 400 also.
But it's weird. Maybe that's when they finally do some kind of price drop across the board. But you can get a Switch for 300, a Switch OLED for 350, or a Switch 2 for 400. That's a lot in a small, relatively small price range. Like, do they drop the Switch to 200?
I think they have to. And the
Who's
Switch
gonna buy
Lite to
Switch?
150. I mean, if they want to end up overtaking the DS or the PS2, they're going to have to. I think they can get there with a price drop. I forget where did they end up? What was the last? Have they hit 140 yet?
300 is crazy.
300's insane. The SNES was like it
Well,
dropped
no,
from
but
200
I'm
to
saying
100 after
that's
like,
what the Switch launched at, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
never dropped the price.
That's crazy. Even at like Black Fridays and stuff, I think all they did was be like, it comes with a game.
If you
Like,
want it, come get
still
it.
Still 300, but
Yeah.
you get it with
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the 100th
Smash or yeah.
Well, since we said this word a lot, what is the screen? Is it LCD or is it OLED? Now, in my mind, when I was thinking of this back when the rumors
If
first
it's
started,
not OLED,
I don't think it's going to be.
I kind of don't think it will be either, but that's insane.
But again, like you were just saying, so then it's only going to be $50 more than the Switch 1 OLED? I think it's going to be LCD. And my thinking originally was I don't really care because I pretty much only play it on my TV, which is probably I'm only going to play this on my TV.
I feel like if you had the Switch 2 graphics on what's basically the Switch 1 display, except a little bit bigger, what are we even doing? Now, yes, I know a lot of people play it docked, but like...
That's a good point, yeah.
I feel like already the only selling point is slightly better graphics, a little bit more powerful, but you're going to put it on the old display that once you've seen the OLED, anybody going from a Switch OLED to a Switch 2
that's
LCD
true.
is
Yeah.
going to be like, what did I pay for? What is this?
I used to not think it was a big deal until I first saw it in Target. I finally was like, they had them side by side, and I was like, holy crap. And then when Casey got his for Christmas, again, I'm like, holy crap. I can't even imagine now if I went back, if I played something on the Switch OLED for like an hour, and then I was like, let me go get my 3DS. Like,
I would, taking the size out of it, I think if you've been playing on a Switch OLED and you get a Switch 2 not OLED, it's not going to seem like a small upgrade. It's going to seem like a downgrade because I don't think the graphics improvements are going to be that noticeable. It's just so weird to think. Like, imagine going from a PS4 to a PS5, going from a PS4 to a PS4 Pro to a PS5, and having it look maybe worse. That's insane. But it will if they don't have an OLED.
I just think I think it's going to be LCD. I think they're going to say that it's a way to cut costs down, and then it really sucks because if you want OLED,
maybe they do two models. Maybe they do,
or they do
LCD for 400 and LED for
500.
450 or 500. I mean, I don't know.
A year from now, or a year from whenever it comes out, I bet they're going to have an OLED version.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
if you are an early adopter, like I'm probably going to end up being, and then it's going to be like, well, what the hell?
Yeah.
Whereas if you end up waiting, then you'll be like,
But it's also like, what am I going to wait for? My car does not. It could have remote start. I could have it's physically it can have it. I need to pay for it and activate it on my app. It's the same price to activate it now.
That's
as
like
the day I
DLC
bought
on
it.
disc. You know what I mean?
The same amount to activate it now as the day I bought it. So there's no way I'm going to do it. Because I've only got a few years of life left on this car. I mean, me personally. So if it was like prorated because I'm this far into the life, I would consider getting it because I want it. But now it just makes me wish I'd gotten it when I got it.
Right.
I say all that because I don't think I want this thing. But if I'm sitting around waiting for a price drop on it,
that ain't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen anytime soon.
No, or
and
ever.
I'm gonna pay full price and have it for less time. Yeah, and so it's this weird thing where I'm like, I don't think I want it, but I also don't know when I'll ever get it because there probably won't ever be a price drop. I don't know. I'm in a very weird situation with this thing.
Well, it's also so. There's a question I had. What about the games? Like first, what's the launch lineup? I don't know why I did two.
I say there's two quote unquote flagship titles.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Is Prime 4 ready? I don't think so.
I wish I could remember because I always forget.
I wish I could remember because I always forget.
They announced it in 2017. And then they rebooted
and then they
it.
Started over in
I feel like it was
21?
2019. I was going to say 2021, but then I'm
Was
like,
it
no,
that
it
soon
didn't take
after?
4 years. I think it was 2 years after. And now we're 6 years down the road. I feel like it's got to be ready, but also...
I feel like there's two quote-unquote flagship titles and then probably another one or two, like, B-tier, like, I don't know, a Xenogear, like some kind of, like, Nintendo-type IP that's not Nintendo. That's kind of what I think.
Is Mario there at launch? Like, is Odyssey 2 going to be there?
I don't think so.
Because we just got... It was 2020.
Because we're getting Mario Kart. I don't think we're getting two games with Mario in the title.
But then, so if it doesn't come out till the fall and we get Kart at launch, are they really going to, like, 2 months later in November put out Odyssey 2? Like, I don't know. But
yeah.
But also, what it comes down to, not just what the launch lineup is. Also, I do wonder, this is a question I didn't have, but another one I just thought of. What third-party support are we going to get? We know Xbox has said they're going to bring Call of Duty back to Switch. I guarantee, well, I don't guarantee. I would assume that does not mean Switch 1. I would assume that means Switch 2. But what is the third-party support going to be? Also, how long are they going to... Are they going to do it for like 2.5 years or more, like PlayStation did with friggin' God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West in 2022 coming out on PS4?
That was one of my questions is how long do we continue to get last gen again? Right. I think for Nintendo, I think first party titles for a long time. But something like Call of Duty, you saw what happened with, what was it, Mortal Kombat 1 or whatever it was that was like, I don't think we're getting third-party games, AAA third-party games on Switch OG anymore. The triple A titles.
I agree.
But I think, and I mean, who knows Mario Kart? If the big thing is you can have like 16 or what was it, 24 simultaneous racers, we think.
Is what they showed, yeah.
I don't think Switch can do that.
Well, but also, if you're going to put out, you can't put Mario Kart 9 on the OG Switch because then no one's going to buy a Switch 2. We already have a George. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but PlayStation and Xbox did it for years.
But not at launch. Like at launch, Demon Souls Remake was PS5 only.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what else. I know the PS4 version of Immortals was horrible. I after I got the Platinum, I installed the PS4 version and was like, it was 30 frames. That was around the time that I was like, oh yeah, 60 frames is no joke. Because playing Immortals at 30 frames, it was like a completely different game.
Yeah.
But it's also... But then they get into this tricky thing of like, so what does it mean for the older games? Like, there's been rumors for a while that they're going to do Breath of the Wild remastered or something. Are they going to go the Sony route of doing like a PS5 patch for PS4 games? And it's like a $10, like we're getting Days Gone remastered in a couple of months. If you own it, I still need to check. I wonder if I can. I never checked to see if like the PlayStation Plus collection thing, if you can get it for $10, probably not. Like, can I upgrade my Breath of the Wild? I'm probably not going to because Tears of the Kingdom is so much better. Do you remember
from like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, the "Let Me Upgrade You" commercial with like Beyonce for like T-Mobile or something? Do you remember? That just popped into my head. Kind of.
But now all I'm hearing is oh.
Kind of like that.
But wasn't that so, no, that was Put a Ring on It.
Yes. But it might have been let me upgrade you.
I remember the Beyonce song. I don't remember how it goes, but I remember she had an upgrade song.
But I think it was just a commercial. I don't think it was a hit on the radio.
Let me upgrade you.
I mean, maybe it was. I don't know. I say that. I may be wrong.
I mean, I don't listen to the radio.
So working off topic.
Okay. Anyways, upgrades.
You want to upgrade you?
I don't want to upgrade Breath of the Wild. Like, if they put it out 4K 60, I'm like, What I worry they're going to do, though, is put out Breath of the Wild remastered for $70.
We'll get Breath of the Wild remastered. Maybe.
That's what I worry about.
We're going to get Breath of the Wild remastered
hard
this year. Maybe that's the other launch title.
Oh, that's true.
And then we'll probably get Tears of the Kingdom remastered following Nintendo's schedule, probably 2029.
And then
the third one in like 2034 as the Switch 3 is about to launch. Actually, we'll only be halfway through the Switch 2 life cycle at that point.
That is a good point. Breath of the Wild remastered would make sense as a launch game. But if it's a launch game... that is what I really do wonder with the old games, if they do patches, or is it, or that's another question I had. So what is the dock? Like, is the dock just going to be a charger with an HDMI that's a pass through like this dock is? Can you believe that they have the nerve? It's Nintendo. Most people probably bought an extra dock. If you're like me and you got kids everywhere. $70 Nintendo sells that piece of plastic for. And literally all it is a charger and an HDMI out. That's all it is.
How much?
$70. I think there's still $70.
And it does nothing, right?
It literally does nothing.
It's a pass-through with like a Nintendo lock on it, basically. Right? Like you can't just plug an HDMI.
There's no HDMI port on the Switch.
That's right. It's just the USB-C.
Now, what I don't know is
but you have like a third-party dock, right?
I did get it. It ended up breaking because the kids, it's like the charging port.
But that worked just fine, right?
It works perfectly fine, right?
Okay.
But so like at launch, you had to pay $70.
Yeah.
But also, so is this dock, are the rumors going to end up being true that this dock does do more than just pass through? Like, are they doing DLSS upscaling? And if they are, then is that how they handle, maybe there is no Breath of the Wild remastered. Maybe that is like they just AI it.
AI upscale all their...
Yeah. But when I think of AI upscaling, then I am not very technical. So if anybody's watching this that knows the answer to this, let me know. But if it's, can you AI upscale frame rate or can you just AI upscale resolution? I think I've only heard of it
I think you can do frame rate. I think it's like the equivalent of like the soap opera effect on TVs, where they're like, we like
Motion
interpolate
blur or whatever.
in between frames to add a new frame in between, and it makes it all like weird like
looking.
super. I don't think that's AI. I mean, I guess maybe that could be considered AI, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Because if that's the case, then do you need to remaster any of the old games or upcharge or re-release, or can you just hell? I mean, they just put out Donkey Kong Country Returns, a Wii game remastered for $60 this far into the life cycle.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to know. What does the dock do? I've been saying a lot of the questions. What questions do you have?
This isn't a question, but I mean, it is a question, but I just thought of it, and it's not a whole discussion. Yes or no? Do we get GTA 6 on this?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Because
Do we get GTA 5 on it? And it can sell another 50
Oh.
million. I mean,
that I would think.
because we never got that on Switch, right?
No. Not
Even
even
though
the
it came
cloud
out on
version or
PS3.
anything. Yeah. Yeah, that should tell you something. I think we do get GTA 5, but not 6. Even like a year later, I don't think we get like a dumbed down version.
Yeah. Okay, so I had cost. What are the games? Cross whatever, new gen, old gen exclusives. One question that I still have, and I've only got one more for this, and this is more of a rhetorical thing, but why do I need this? I don't think I do. And I understand that I'm in the minority because I crap all over the Switch all the time, but it still sells insane. This thing, I'm sure, will sell like crazy. But I also wonder if you could... If some of these if they continue to put new titles on Switch 1 and 2, does that stop people from buying the Switch 2? Because I can't imagine the experience will be that different. I don't know that it would be any different, any more of a leap than PS4 to PS5 was.
Yeah.
Like,
And also, you got to think about it.
I don't
because
know. I can't imagine why so many people are so excited for this. But I also
because we
know
all
it's
like
going to
just
sell
new toys. Yeah.
I guess. But
Like the rumors were saying they're trying to manufacture enough to sell 20 million in the first year. And to get rid of scalper issue and everything. But like I lost it.
Last
Nintendo Magic. Mario Odyssey, no matter what I think about that game, looks gorgeous.
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I love the art. Like, they have ways of masking stuff. Now, again, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom don't run at 60. I think Mario Odyssey did run at 60, I'm pretty sure. As I picture it in my mind, I feel like it was smooth, like it was 60.
I don't think it was. I don't know. Maybe.
But when they've got the Nintendo Magic that they can squeeze everything out of these systems, they know their programmers know that hardware better than anybody, obviously. Yeah. So how do you? It's going to be weird how they do how they try to differentiate to get you to upgrade if the games are still coming out last gen. Also, what gen is the Switch to? They screwed everything up with the Wii U, with the Wii U coming out in 2012, a year before the PS4 and the Xbone. That thing sucked. And then they put out the Switch 5 years later, right in the middle of the PS4 Xbone generation. And now they're putting the Switch 2 out in the middle of the Xbone X.
I think Nintendo is just late to the gen. Switch 2 is the same gen as PS5.
Yes.
It's just they're
Super
late to the party.
They're 10, 12 years late.
So my last question, because it kind of goes hand in hand with that one, is we don't really know any, like we've seen it, but we don't really know anything about it yet. So this is kind of a weird question to ask, but is there still, and I'm not counting the mouse, does Nintendo have something up their sleeve that we don't know yet? Is there a, to quote Apple, like a one more thing, like you didn't see this coming. Guess what else the Switch 2 can do? And I have no idea what that can be because
it might be flipping it
There's
upside
not,
down.
But like, so one thing I did think of that is not a game changer at all, and maybe you could do it on the Switch. It would, on either system, it would only work docked. But what I think would be kind of a cool thing and a very Nintendo-like thing is 2-player co-op where you hold it this way.
Like like the old
So you're
arcade
each holding it,
pizza things.
and so and it's like split screen, but yours is flipped. So there's basically they split the display into two to where yours is facing that way, mine's facing. For games like I don't even know if I could run it, but like Split Fiction, like co-op like that, like on device. But then I feel like it's not that big to where you're gonna be holding it pretty close. Like if I move, I'm gonna pull it out of your hand. So that's the only thing I can think of that maybe that's something they add, which is not going to sell consoles just because of that. But like, I refuse to believe this mouse is anything more than just a gimmick.
Well, and
the mouse is up there with the. Well, I think that's 4 ice cubes in the glass. Like that,
and the infrared
was the biggest. Remember? Oh yeah, I forgot.
It has an infrared sensor that nothing ever used.
I feel like that's what this mouse is going to be.
But like, what is the mouse? What is a man? Hold on, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
He'll be right back.
I might have a Joy-Con up here somewhere.
He found one. He found 2.
So, all right. So, first off, I'm glad we're getting rid of these rails. Now that we still haven't, we've only seen it working.
Is this
in like a 3D model? That's mine.
Is it broken? Why is that
Yeah.
what it always looks like?
No.
Or did you lose a bit? Oh, there's no kickstand.
They broke the kickstand off.
Oh,
The stupid kickstand that's on the side. Luckily, with the new one, they did like the U thing, right? I
Right.
think we saw that. But okay, so if you detach, so they're saying
You can,
it's going to be like this.
but nobody plays the Switch at a table unless you're streaming. You're not playing the Switch in front of a tabletop.
Well,
You're
but that's
sitting
what
on
I'm
the
saying.
couch.
Like, how does it even
Are you going to
work?
play on your leg, like
Right.
or on the couch? Like,
Do you have to have a mouse pad? Do you have to have something dark? Like how?
it cannot. There's no way it can be meant to be for like Call of Duty.
But
There's
you
no
don't have a
way.
keyboard.
It's got to be more for things like
Just navigating
Mario
the menus.
Party.
Mario
Paint,
yeah.
where it's like nice, like okay, I could see
There's your launch game,
Mario Paint 2, Mario Paint Switch,
or maybe something very limited. That's kind of like
it's
how,
basically a tech demo, like
PS5 had Astro.
yeah.
The Playroom.
I could
whatever
see
it was.
that. Yeah,
But like, yeah, so it's like it's got mouse functionality. Okay, I've got one thing. You're not going to be
dual mousing.
you can't if you don't have a keyboard. It doesn't serve any purpose unless Nintendo thinks they're going to sell a bunch of point and click like Monkey Island games on this thing or something. Like I don't understand.
Well, what now that you mention it, what it does give me hope for, that would be perfect for Mario Maker 3. That I can see using the mouse to like
yeah,
click and drag like. So there might be some useful functionality for a mouse.
I will say that's
but if
one
that's
thing.
the big, what I still stand by is the Switch 2 is very un-Nintendo.
Yeah.
Even NES to SNES, we got completely different controllers, triple the buttons. But other than that, just more powerful.
But also going from 8 to 16-bit was a huge graphical jump.
But now, like, I don't know. I feel like they're constantly coming out with some kind of new gimmick to change the game, no pun intended. And this time it's like, well, you can use the Joy-Con as a mouse, but other than that, it's basically just a slightly more powerful Switch. And that seems so un-Nintendo-like that I'm losing faith, but there's still part of me that's like, they've got something up their sleeve that we don't know yet, and that's why people are going to want this thing.
Well, this leads into another thing that I wrote down. Along with the mouse functionality, like we just talked about, what the F is that extra button?
The only thing I can think of is cast. C for cast. And it's like, without docking, you can use it like a dual screen support. Like, but I don't get what does that get you?
Like maybe you
It's the same
would
thing
cast
that
it
the
to
Wii
dock.
U had.
Right.
where like you can play in here and it's also on the screen, but they're not. Unless maybe there's some games. Maybe we start to
3DS.
get Link Between World port, because the game's up there and then you can look down for your map.
But you don't even, you can port it without doing that. You just take one of your extra buttons and just go, okay, now here's your inventory.
Well, right, but at that rate, we never even needed a 3DS or a DS.
Right.
So maybe that's a way of getting back to like a dual screen capability or something. But I also don't think it's that, because now you have basically said, here's a game for the Switch, but you cannot play it in handheld mode. Or, I mean, maybe they can find a way to play it handheld, but yeah, it's just less ideal. You have to hit a button to go between the screens.
Yeah, because we've got a home and we've got a capture. And then we've got a start, we've got a plus and a minus. The Switch has more buttons. I'm realizing this now. It has more buttons than Xbox and PlayStation. Because think of it, like they've got
the two shoulders, the 4.
They've got 2 extra buttons.
Well, it's basically like start and select back in the day. It's like
but we
options and touchpad on PS.
Well, options,
I don't know about
and then
Xbox.
Share. Options and share / capture.
But also you got the touchpad on the PlayStation, which is basically a button.
Yeah, so it's got one more button.
Yeah, if you count share. Well, no, this is like options. Oh yeah, because you got that. I mean? Oh, that's true. So this would be like option. Well, no, this is like options. Push the touchpad. And your share button.
Right.
So it's pretty much the same.
Really, it's just a home button. But then that's the PS5.
And
that's the PlayStation logo button.
PS.
So, so maybe they don't. But you know what?
The C button.
The C button. I don't.
Cast is the only thing I can think of, but I can't wrap my brain around why that's beneficial.
Some people have said camera, but I was like, no, we got away from the C camera buttons 30 years ago with the N64. Like, it's not a camera button. Unless there's a camera.
Unless there's a built-in camera.
But who wants to take... for me, it's never going to leave the dock, pretty much.
Yeah.
So why do I need a camera? No, it better not be a camera. Like a photo camera. I meant camera like control the camera.
Yeah.
And they're both pretty stupid ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, like, grab it. Like, imagine you're playing like a small... Mario game. I mean, that would be real tiny. But like, I mean, that could work. And you've got a much bigger screen now. There's a very
limited
small,
functionality, but it would be
it'd be a nice niche kind of But that's the only thing I can think of that, like, I don't know. I could see them doing it, but that's not going to sell Switch 2s because of that. Right. That would just be a cool little, hey, look at this nifty thing you can also do. I don't know what else. The fact that we've seen it already and we didn't just get like a silhouette of it, but we don't know what
Mario
it like. Right. Like, we've seen it. I don't know how much else there is that they could be hiding still.
Right.
But so far it seems so un-Nintendo that I'm like, there has to be something. But I'm starting to think there's not.
Few more things I have. Is the Pro controller backwards compatible or forwards compatible? Is the Switch 2 backwards compatible with the Pro controller?
Depends on how important that C button is.
Good point. That's why, like, PlayStation has to just get... Colin says this all the time. PlayStation forever... Now, like, that's why you can't port some Vita games, because of the stupid touchscreen and the back feel pad thing. Just like PS4, they're like, ooh, let's put a touchpad so you can do this. Now you have to have a touchpad on every DualSense, Shock, whatever, for the rest of Infinity because of that stupid thing. Otherwise, you have to leave all those games behind. But what the frig was I saying?
I don't know. You just started.
Oh, yeah, Pro controller.
Oh,
do we get a Pro controller if it's not compatible?
I hope it's a better. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to get it.
My other question
but my God, I hope it's a better Pro controller.
How does
I like the form fit? I like the overall
the ergonomics
build,
of it. Everything is
but the
great
D-pad
except that D-pad.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how a company that, first off, invented the D-pad. Second off, they damn near perfected it, I would say, on the SNES. Trying to play, I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's the way that it... I don't have a Pro controller up here. I don't know if it's the way that it rocks... Like, it's almost... like if you think of the DualSense and the DualShock 4, and actually every Sony controller was 4 separate buttons. But
Yeah.
it didn't feel like this. Like they were still kind of on a rocker, but it's so easy to do. Like when I was playing the Fatal Fury open beta, and all my down to forwards and my dragon punches and my down to backs, everything works on that D-pad. Going back, I even remember when we did our stream for Ultra Street Fighter 2 when that came out. And it got to the point in that tournament where I was like, I guess I just got to start using the analog stick, which I never do for fighting games. How did they screw up that D-pad so bad? I don't remember it being like that on like the Wii. I feel like the actual Wiimote, that D-pad worked better than the freaking Pro Controller.
Yeah. It was tiny, but it worked better.
But along with their classic controllers and all that. Now, if you're, and that's the thing, it's got to be the rocking, because like I just flash back to you, Celeste. Like you can't.
Oh yeah.
Like for precision, like platformers and stuff, that D-pad sucks. And analog sticks suck for platformers too. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That doesn't make sense, but it was where I was going. Also, so do we get a new Pro Controller, and does that Pro Controller fix the D-pad? Also, are we the only... I feel like we can't be the only ones. Like, I want to Google right now. Are you doing it?
No.
Okay. Let's Google Switch D.
Are you doing it right now? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Switch D-pad sucks. Holy crap. The Pro Controller's D-pad is horrible. Pro Controller D-pad still bad? I don't understand the hate about the Joy-Cons. I just recently noticed how bad the controller D-pad is. Seriously, the Nintendo Switch D-pad sucks. Okay. So we're not the only ones. Okay. At least I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. She's crazy. I'm not crazy. She's crazy.
You may be right.
I may be crazy. Mom was like, Mom, you killed it. It wasn't a good joke to begin with, and you killed what there was of it. I will say, though, to the Pro Controller's credit, now, obviously, if you compare the hours I've put into that thing compared to the hours on my DualSense, which I've had the PlayStation 5 a lot less than I've had the Switch. I guarantee I've used a DualSense lots more hours than I have the Pro Controller. Also, DualShock 4. You know what I mean? Like, I went through so many of those. I'm on my third or whatever DualSense. It doesn't even... And actually, that's probably because my kids keep breaking them, which is why they're not touching my 30th anniversary one. But I got to give it to the Switch Pro Controller. I have had one in my 8 years that I've had that. I bought it. We both got it day one. Yeah. I've had one Pro Controller. Never had to buy another one. Now I've bought some 8-bit DOS and stuff just because I like them, but not because it broke. So I got to hand it, and the battery life is still like, I think they said it was 40 hours. It's probably still not that, but it's like anytime I just randomly pick it up, like if I want to go on the eShop, or not the eShop, the Switch Online, like to play old games and stuff, I pick it up, push the A button, it's like bloop, bloop, bloop. Now it's not fully charged, but it's a damn good controller. It's just stupid D-pad.
I thought it was something else.
Okay.
That there's no reason it couldn't have already been done, but it wasn't. So maybe this would be a thing to pair with the Switch 2.
Sure.
Do you see Nintendo expanding their Switch Online? Maybe not to the extent of Game Pass, but more like PS Plus, where you get more than just retro games.
You actually
retro
get Switch
Nintendo,
games?
yeah, like Blaster Master Zero. I feel like would be a good example. Or what was the RPG Sea of Stars? Like every so often, a new game, or not a new game, but not a retro game that's like,
Shovel
here's a
Knight.
couple games, jack up the price, like, you know, they will. But like, and kind of along those lines, is everything that was on Switch Online on Switch automatically on Switch Online on Switch 2? Or are we going to start from
no, they
zero
said,
again?
They weren't very clear about it, but they said something about, I think they said basically like Switch Online functionality is going to be at least the same as it was.
Okay.
But that, like, since they've got more powerful hardware, what it made me think of, Switch games would be nice. I don't know why I've never thought of that. They don't do what Xbox and PlayStation does. There's no...
Yeah, it's just old Nintendo and Genesis
Sega
games.
And Turbo isn't on there. Since we're going to more powerful hardware, do they add GameCube? For another bump up, the
Yeah.
expansion pass gets more expensive, or there's a second expansion pass or something. That would be freaking awesome. I have played no GameCube games in my entire life.
I've played a handful.
I've played Sunshine,
Resident
which
Evil
sucks,
4,
James.
Beautiful Joe.
You never got to play Solid Twin Snakes because the disc crapped out.
Yeah, I played it, but I didn't finish it.
Me too.
I don't know. I can't think of any others.
Like the Mario Kart
It's
Double
probably
Dash
done.
is supposed to be awesome.
I played it, yeah, but I never had it.
I think GameCube would be the next. I mean, obviously it is the next step, but like, what about Wii games? Why? Like, Wii is damn near 20 years old, which is insane. I hate that I just said that sentence.
And there's some there's only some games that would work because you can't do the
Well, but this does motion,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can make it work.
but I don't know how
But it
they
doesn't
would
have
replicate the finger,
Yeah.
because you don't have a sensor. I don't know. It's gyro, all that. So maybe that wouldn't. Maybe it wouldn't work for Wii games. But I think GameCube is realistic to expect now. So we've gone all the way up to the GBA. Yeah, and then it's the dual screens, which I don't know how you do that. Like, you can do it like
Yeah.
the Castlevania, the Dominus Collection did, but that's because I'm playing it on a 70-inch TV, so I've got a main screen and a smaller screen. If you're doing a main screen on here, I guess it would work,
Yeah.
but then you still have to access. Well, it's a touch screen. I don't know. If they want to figure it out, they will. Yeah, GameCube.
Yeah.
Couple quick ones. Then, like, I do wonder if, kind of building off what you just said, are we going to start getting more 3DS ports? Like, if you can port one 3DS game, I assume you can port them, and I'm talking like power-wise and stuff. And like we've seen, even with Link Between Worlds, it doesn't run but like 1 frame a second. But if you just take an emulator, a 3DS emulator, and you just up-res it,
It looks beautiful.
oh my God, it's like you didn't even have to do any new models. It's just you up-res it, and it's just, holy crap, this looks just as good as like a Link, what's it called, Link's Awakening, and well, probably not that good, but pretty close. So it's not a power thing. So that's probably a stupid question. Never mind, I didn't ask it. What's the battery life?
I bet it's
This thing was like 3 hours, and then they put out the new, better battery that we both swapped it out for, plus $80 or whatever it was.
And I lost my Breath of the Wild
Oh,
save because I
yeah.
never backed it up.
That's right.
I'm like, well, never playing that game again.
Yeah, how do you, can you transfer saves?
I don't know. Is that a thing on like Switch Online? Is
So-
there backup for?
There's cloud save. Yeah, there's cloud save, so you probably can. The thing that's weird, so when Casey, because he put however many, a couple hundred hours into Animal Crossing on this thing. When he got his OLED, and he's like, yeah, so can I move my island over? And immediately I was like, oh no. Because I thought I remembered something that, like, I guess what it turned out to be was you can only have like one main island per system. But then I looked up, there's an actual transfer app for Animal Crossing, a Nintendo transfer app on the eShop that you use to transfer your island to another Switch. Thank God.
Does the Switch have any kind of I don't know if it would be NFC or what, where like if we each had a Switch, can we like do like local co-op, like without having to like connect to the network? Can we be
And
like,
then
look,
come
we're
back
both
down.
here. Can we just bloop? I can't remember if that's a thing. If not, I could see that being
I
on
don't think
Switch
so.
too.
No, you can connect
Like
however many
local network
Joy-Con.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got NFC because it can do, that's how it does the bloop, the.
Oh, that's true.
The-
Yeah, but
But
not,
I mean, that's just,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it would really be.
that's a good idea. That would be cool though. So if we could play Split Fiction, I'm here,
Right.
you're there,
Without having to like be on the internet. It's just like a local network kind of thing.
and then that's the C button. Then you cast it to the TV. So it's split screen up there, but you've got your screen here.
Yeah.
Now we're getting way we're giving Nintendo way too much credit. So yeah, what's the battery life? It's got to be at least 5 hours. It's got to be something. I don't know.
4.
And do you remember what the internal storage is on this thing?
So like 256 gigs or something.
32. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We forget
I get okay.
how there's nothing on this. That's why I have an SD card right there. That's why I got Casey an SD card for his like a day after he got it. you
It's got to be
it's
bare
got to be
minimum
256.
256
It has to be. You can get a phone,
with like 2 terabytes now or something.
or do they go up to 4 now?
Maybe.
At least 8 terabyte. Like, there's no memory is so. But then also, so like, can I take my SD card? Is it just going to take SD cards? There was somebody that said, that there might be some new, not
Nintendo.
proprietary, not like the Vita. They're not going to do that, but some newer version of SD cards that's much faster or something. Maybe it would only take them. I think that would be dumb. But it would be cool if I can take my SD card out of this, because I've got so many games stored on that thing. I don't even know which ones, because this thing only has 30 gigs, and just plug it in. It's like, okay, there's your games.
I thought of one.
Yes.
Do the new Switch 2 cartridges also taste bad?
Yes. But I think they change it to a different taste. Why did people put it in their
Poop
mouths?
flavored?
Yes. That would be awesome if they flavored it like shit. That would be funny though. And then once I get out in the wild, it's like, but if you lick it, then it does start to smell, and now your Switch smells like shit. It's the shit. The shit too. Why did we put it in our mouths? Did that happen before it even came out?
I don't know. I don't know if somebody was like, oh, I heard they taste bad. Let's see. Yep, they taste bad. Or if somebody was like,
I don't think
I'm going to put this in my mouth. Hey, you know what? That tastes bad. Oh, they did that on purpose. Like, I don't know how that came to be.
I don't think I ever.
I also don't think it tastes that bad.
I don't think I ever put one in my mouth. Oh,
Really? I remember when I tried it, I'm like,
shit.
that's not that bad.
I have never.
I want to taste one of mine when I get home.
No,
I
you
don't
gotta
remember.
taste this now. I'm not sick. Just here. You gotta. It does not take much. Holy crap.
This part?
Yeah. Do the black part underneath.
Okay, so it's not
So you're
the
not getting
label.
the sticker.
It's
yeah.
not the. Oh, maybe that's what I thought it was.
You probably did that. And you're like, that's fine.
Can I just lick it?
Yeah, that's what I did. You don't even. You barely have to do
Now
it.
you've got me worried because I did this before. I'm like, I mean, it doesn't taste good, but
Do you still have coffee left?
no.
Oh.
Is it that bad?
It's lingering. I don't even know how to. I want you to do it so we can try to describe it. Exactly.
It's like acid,
Super bitter
like
or
battery
something?
acid.
Yeah.
It's like tingly.
Just like John.
It tastes like John. Oh God.
That tastes disgusting. It's still lingering. I did a bigger lick than you did. That was a horrible decision. Battery life, internal storage. So yeah, 256. But then the last one I have, and we can end on this because it's the big one, is we still don't know what the actual specs of this thing are. We don't know if is the hard drive an a little mini SSD, like how are load times gonna be. Like we don't know the actual specs of this thing. We've seen it, we've seen all the leaks, we've heard rumors. We think it's somewhere maybe a little more powerful than a PS4, but what actually is it? And then like I want to know that, but then I also want to have somebody like Digital Foundry or something.
Yeah, how many
Just
teraflops
talk
you get?
through it. Yeah. Because do we have teraflops still, or was that just a Scorpio
I have no
1X thing?
I think it's still a thing. What's after Terra?
No, not
Beta?
Quadra. What is a
Terra.
teraflop? What does Terra mean? How many is Terra?
Trillion?
A trillion? So a quad flop?
Yeah, Terra means
Quadraflop?
trillion.
A quadraflop then, right?
I feel like there's a different name. What is after
Oh, drinking
Terra?
water makes it worse.
Petabyte?
Petamite?
So do we get any petabyte?
Petamite?
Do we get any do we get a petaflop?
What? Thought I didn't notice.
Petaflop.
The pedophile. I just want to know how powerful is the thing? What is the difference between handheld and docked? And it goes back to what we were saying about the actual dock. Like, I have to think that it's going to be more than just a pass through, because
There's got to be something else to it.
there's no way this thing. Like, I don't think the even the big beefy like the Steam Deck, I don't think that does 4K.
I don't think so.
But it's got a dock you can put it in and send it to your TV, And that is not just a pass-through. That's got something going on there. I don't know. I just want to know what the actual specs are, and then I want somebody who's way smarter than me to say how it compares to last gen.
But that's true. Now I'm starting to backtrack on my $400 thing. Because I do believe there's more to the dock than there used to be. So it's an improved dock that's not just a pass-through in my mind. And I was about to say much
switch.
more powerful, but a more powerful switch. Probably a better dock. And 8 years of inflation. And maybe it will be 500. Like $400. I bet it is 500. I go back. I bet it's 500.
Don't the Steam Decks start at 400?
I have no idea.
I can't remember.
I bet it will be 500.
And I don't know how much like the Rogue Ally or ROG Ally. I don't know how you say Rogue.
I say ROG.
ROG Ally.
I don't know if it's right.
You also say
I've never
GIF.
said it, but in my head I say ROG.
But yeah, that's it. That's the last one I had is what are the actual specs.
Yeah.
Wow, we almost went for an hour. I'm glad we didn't limit it to 5 questions. And I kind of thought that's how this was good. Like, I don't know what other unanswered questions are there. I think we pretty much covered it.
There's probably unanswered questions that we don't even know to ask.
Right.
There will be... Last question. Do you think... Well, I guess it is. I was going to say, do you think there's something revealed
That we didn't expect.
that we didn't even think to ask? But I guess that goes back to my question about, is there going to be one
more
last
thing.
thing? Like, hey, here's a secret that you didn't know about. Do you think we get... Other than... I
don't
think
think
everybody's
so.
already kind of expecting the dock being...
Yeah, the
you know,
AI
upraised.
upscaling.
They haven't said that, but everybody's kind of... So I wouldn't count that. And I'm not counting the mouse because they've pretty much already showed that. Do you think there is like a feature that will really distinguish this from just being a more powerful Switch 2?
No.
It seems like there has to be, but I am getting to the point where I don't think there will be.
I feel like there's been so many leaks about this thing. I feel like there's been so many leaks about this thing that, like, I feel like we would have known if there was a big thing. I feel like the big thing probably was the mouse thing, and then they're like, son of a bitch, it leaked.
Yeah. Unless the C button is something really groundbreaking.
But I don't know what a button... Yeah, I don't know what a button can do. That sounds like a kid's song or a kid's book or something.
What can a button do?
A button do in a rattling bog. Oh, no, a rattling bog. All right. Losing my mind. That's it for this bonus episode. This was a fun one. I hope you guys liked it. What questions do you have that we didn't ask or haven't been asked by anyone yet? And until the next time, Sean, take us out.
Thank you for playing.
Oh, yeah, they got to do 2 taps now. Taps.
Snaps. Switch. Or yeah, snaps.
Hated it. Bye, guys.
Bye.